Global executive coach and award-winning author L. Michelle Smith is out with a new book, Call and Response. It is the second book to publish in the Harper One Group's collaboration with JVL Media, a company founded by the critically acclaimed couple Viola Davis and Julius Tenen, producers of film, television, and theater, and visionary author and publisher Lavelle Levette. Join us as we discuss how to name, tame, and reframe, and the three components of hope, because a goal without a plan is just wishing. Welcome, L. Michelle Smith. Welcome to She Leads Boldly, the podcast for faith-driven women navigating high-stakes leadership without compromising what matters most. I am Sharika Sanders, your host, mentor, and kingdom business leader. Here, we embrace bold leadership rooted in purpose, not pressure. This space is for the woman who refuses to choose between faith and ambition, family and fulfillment, impact and rest. Each week, you'll hear powerful conversations, practical strategies, and spirit-led wisdom to help you advocate for yourself, lead with integrity, and rise without burnout. If you're ready to lead boldly, live faithfully, and never settle for less than what God has promised, you're in the right place. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be at whatever time it is. And as we all know, whatever time it is that you're hearing this message is the time that it is that you're supposed to hear this message. So settle in and get comfortable, because Miss L. Michelle is going to just blow our minds. And first, thank you for being here and your yes.
Yes. I wouldn't think of saying no. I read about the podcast, and you have so many of these things that resonate with me. Leadership, motherhood, marriage at some point in my life. Yes.
All right.
But,
now,
2 out of 3 is not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate the compliment as well. You said something, and something so simple, but so very true. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned it before, but I'll actually let you say it, because for whatever reason, my words don't work well with me today.
That's okay.
But what was that statement that you made?
Yes. I was speaking about what happens when you shine, and it's important that we make sure that we don't dim our lights. Mm-hmm. But I also shared the caveat that lights shine, but they also attract flies.
I love it.
So you have to be careful.
That is so amazing, because it's something so simple, but we don't think about it, because we always, and you also made point, and I'll let you speak even more into that, about how we see what other people are doing and, the social media lifestyle, and we start to envy that and want those things. But one of the things we also have to realize, even if we're not, envying what someone else has, mm-hmm. but we want to go to that next level. Lord, get me to that next level. Yes. I want, all of the promises and all of the things, but new levels, new devils. And sometimes we don't think about the attacks that are going to be stronger at that next level, or the enemies or the people that you're going to have to leave behind. Yes. As you are promoted to that next level. We only think about the lights. And so the way that you phrase that is just, it hits.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's because I've lived it.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you're just not expecting it. I wish somebody had told me. Mm-hmm. But then, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And right. Then when you live it, though, it hits different, and you can move forward even better than if somebody just told you. So yeah. I'm glad that resonated.
That lived experience is definitely a little bit different. And that's what it is. It's not I failed or, any of that negative talk, but it was an experience. It was a learning experience. And now I know what to do better the next time. And it is, sometimes people can give us the steps laid out. This is exactly how this should look. This is exactly how you should show up for this. And we have that, I'm going to see for myself. Yes. And,
yes,
and it doesn't work out. But I love how, because you also made reference to having a previous or a prior business that was not as successful, and for the ones who know that there's a promise for them, know that there's greater for them, but they're in the midst of something right now that doesn't look anything like what that promise is.
Mm-hmm.
What, I guess, message of encouragement, or even just how were you able to pick yourself back up and say, this is not the end for me?
Yeah, well, to be clear, it wasn't a failed business or anything like that. I was let go from my Fortune 10 job. And it wasn't because I had done anything wrong per se. At least that's not what they said. I had exceeds ratings. I had won awards, and somehow I ended up on the short list. The beautiful thing was that they did try and keep me. But to your question, it still resonates here. It's that how do you keep going when it looks like things aren't going the way you wanted them to? That's what I heard you say.
Yes.
You know, and these are some of the things that I outlined in this book, Call and Response. Things that we learned that were ingrained in us, that we watched. And some of it didn't have to be spelled out. It was modeled. Yes. And one of the things that I saw my grandmothers do, one of the things that I saw women in the church do, some of my best friends are over the age of 70.
Wow.
They walked with their heads high, but they also dressed the part. These ladies were dressed to the nines. You would not have recognized, or what do they say? I don't look like what I've been through.
Yes.
These ladies were absolutely walking that walk. Couture, walking around with designer clothes on, hats just perfectly coiffed. It wasn't so much about the kind of clothes they were wearing. It was the comportment. It was the demeanor. It was, I'm walking in here like I'm a child of God.
That's
nobody can stop me.
That's
what keeps you moving forward, because you get yourself into a mindset, and that's the science behind it. When you're talking about neuroscience, it really is about naming the issue, because you don't want to play like it's not there.
Right.
You name it in order to tame it, and then you reframe it.
That's
your opportunity to say, you know what? But I know there's a better day, and I know God has more for me. That's what those sisters were doing. When we saw them in those big hats, thinking, I'm going to lay down my burdens down by the river.
That's right. That's right.
They meant that.
And I definitely think you resonate well with this. And another, I love what I've learned and read about you and your story. And a piece that I think also resonates with a lot of us is, whether by choice or by force, we were put into leadership positions early on.
Yes.
And because we were put in those positions, as we grow and as we get older, we think that we have to neglect ourselves and we have to forego the things that we need, and our wants are selfish, or going after our desires makes us selfish, and, forgetting about others and all of these things. But how were you able to cope with that space of, yes, I'm going to be successful. Yes, I'm going to be a successful mother. Yes, I'm going to be a successful wife. Yes, I'm going to be a successful businesswoman and a successful woman of God, and doing all the things while still taking care of me.
Yeah. So this is something that we struggle with culturally.
Yes.
Not just as women. I mean, first of all, women have a hard time saying no to others and putting themselves first.
Yes.
But as Black women, it's even tougher because it's etched on our DNA to just keep going and keep going and keep going, and then not think about taking care of ourselves. Even this culture that's out there that, I'm doing all the things and I'm a boss babe, and, look at me on the gram, and, I'm here and I'm there and I'm here and I'm there, but we're not stopping to heal. And in the book, we talk about resilience. I call it the balm for the burdened. And the reason for that is the only way you become resilient is to go through adversity.
Yes.
And nobody's done that more than us. The The problem is we don't stop to heal. Resilience is resilience is not that I'm going to keep going anyway.
Right. Right.
Resilience says I am going to name it. I'm going to tame it. And in that taming, there's a reflection. There's the question, is there a lesson in this for me? There's the healing. There's I'm calling my therapist to try and heal from this before you can actually begin to reframe it. We try to rush to the reframing. And what we end up doing is hurting ourselves. We wind up in the hospital sick. We wind up not doing as well on our work and wondering why we got passed over.
Right.
Because the excellence couldn't be there. We're spread too thin.
Trying to show up for everybody, be everything for everyone. And one of the things that I'm seeing more now, which I love, is women say, don't call me the strong woman. Don't call me the strong Black woman. Don't do that. And it is a stigma because what was at one point something you aspired to be, it became they can handle it. She can handle it. She got it. And people will just continue to pile more and more on you, whether intentionally or not. And because we're so used to figuring it out, we would do just that, again, at the sacrifice of ourselves and of our health and our mental health, our physical health, all the things. And then we would get looked over, we would get passed over. And it's like, oh, I just need to work harder. Well, you about to work yourself into the ground.
Yeah. Well, and I'll add in there that our beautiful mothers, who did everything for us, that sacrificed so much. They modeled the behavior of keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes. And even though they were tired, they were still, and they were putting us first, or our fathers or their husbands first. And they get so run down. My mother is 82 years old. She's in the book. You meet her, but she's 82 years old, and she's just getting to the point where she understands that she has to stop and take care of herself before she's any good for my father. Or even for me, or even for her grandchild. And that's hard because you're conditioned. This is the way we learn things, right? The neuroscience of it all. There is a part of our brain called the hippocampus. And it grows when we learn. But the only way it grows and actually gets bigger is when we repeat things over and over and over and over again. It's called neuroplasticity, right? And we can learn negative behaviors the same way we learn the good behaviors, but the problem is we have to unlearn the negative behaviors in order to learn the good ones. A good example of that, my dad came down with the flu. We didn't know what was going on. He kind of had a fall or whatever. We end up in the ER, and we're thinking it's something else. And they told her, oh, it's the flu. Well, during this time, my mom had been sniffing and coughing and going on. I was like, Mom, are you okay? Oh, it's just allergies. It's just allergies. She had conditioned herself to think of him first. And whatever was going on with her, she would minimize. And so in her mind, it's just allergies. I'm going to be okay. And finally, my sister and I had to say, you've been in close quarters with Daddy. You probably have the flu too. And it was like wrangling her in just to get on a telemedicine with the doctor. And sure enough, the doctor was like, you need meds, and send her meds. And then later she said, thank you and Joycey. That's my sister Joyce. Thank you to you and Joycey for kind of wrangling me in because I'm not used to thinking about myself. And that got me. And so as we grow up and even as adults, we've seen that modeled in front of us. Just go, 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 go. For everybody else, everybody else, everybody else. In the meantime, you're running yourself down. But the minute you stop, take care of yourself, you're better for you. You're better for everybody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just this past weekend, I was telling someone that reached out, I was like, hey, just, speaking, hey, how was your weekend? And I was like, you know what? I didn't even get on my computer. I didn't, go to my desk at all. And nothing failed, no ball was dropped, like everything was
Yeah.
okay. And it was so crazy. And I've recently gotten some help to kind of help free up my time and do some of my administrative things
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, but I need to fill that space. I need to
Mm-hmm.
fill it with something else. It's like, who, calm down,
Yeah.
please. Like,
I've got clients
no,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
No, you don't. And my biggest reflection has definitely been in my daughter and how she'll say I have three kids. My daughter's the oldest, she's 17, and then my boys are 12 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so if one of the boys go to grab a bag for I got it, they try to help her, I got it, I can do it. And if she gets upset about something, like, I can say as her mom, I know when she gets upset, but I can't tell you the last time I've seen her cry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I have to go somewhere by myself. And it's like she got that from somewhere. And at first that really was
Wonder
my thought.
where,
Like, where
Mom?
did where did she get that? And then it was like, look at you. Look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
You won't let anybody help you. You can do it all. You
Yes.
stay up late. And at that time when I think I first realized that I was still in corporate. So it would be getting up early in the morning, going in, maybe coming in late, or if I'd left at a decent time, taking them to whatever event they needed to, go back home,
Mm-hmm.
get online. And so she would, staying up late. Oh, I can do it. It's fine. I only need a few hours of sleep. Just all of these bad habits. And I had to tell her, even recently, I'm like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to allow somebody else to help you. It doesn't
Yes.
make you weak. Cause I said, and she was like, I'm a strong woman. And I was like, it
Uh-oh.
doesn't, first of all,
Uh-oh.
no, because I don't want to be a strong woman.
Yeah.
And secondly, it doesn't make you weak, because that's what we have this mindset of, either it's strong or weak.
Yeah.
And that's not how that works.
Right.
Like, there is strength in being vulnerable. There is
Mm-hmm.
strength in
Mm-hmm.
saying, you know what, I do need help. Or even to say, I'm going to take a beat. I'm not going to, go to work, or I'm going to sit down and allow myself to heal, and then not feel selfish because you did it.
Agree. Agree. All day long. And I'm glad that you're able to see this early, because that's where the habits get ingrained when we're young,
Mm-hmm.
which is also
Mm-hmm.
a theme in the book.
Yeah.
With the first few times we're voluntold when we're little,
Uh-huh.
and that motivation that comes from inside, that's the positive psychology of it. It's intrinsic. And we start to wire our little brains early towards the habits that we have. And in this
Yeah.
situation, it's a self accountability that's really, really good. But if we're watching mommy overwork herself,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to learn that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And our brain doesn't know the good from the bad.
No, we have to
It
tell
just
it.
knows the behavior.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what we say. And that was the thing for me. It didn't matter what I said. I needed
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I modeled it, because the words didn't mean anything. What
Mm-hmm.
they see more of, or what they retain more of, is what they see us do, and how we carry out those things that we've said. And so
Mm-hmm.
it definitely made me be more aware of how I show up, and how I do certain things. And now it's some things I can do by myself, but I may call one of the boys, or may ask my husband, just because, when they're there, pick that up for me. I could pick it up myself, but
Oh, yeah.
little things, just to show, like, you don't have to do it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not alone in this space, because we do get bogged down and filled with all of the different pressures, and then we start to feel like we're so alone, or when we do need the help, no one's there to help us. And we can't always blame them, because we've always shown up as the person who, I got it, I'm good, or I'll figure it out. And so they're used to you just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And then others start to downplay when you actually say, oh, you know what, I may need some help with this. Oh, she'll be
Yeah.
fine if I don't do it, or if I can't make it. And so I love the message that you are giving us. And this book, Call and Response, definitely sounds like something that we need to invest in and spend some time in, and make sure we really receive it, because what better means of understanding than the person who has walked through this? Just like we said at the beginning, that person that can give us that advice, that can give us that guidance before we start to make those mistakes, or even someone who can say, because it's not me, or that's not me. I know my limits. I'm not that. But then you start listening, looking at the signs
Yeah.
and
Well, you
listening
made a really
to,
good point here when you're talking
yeah,
about you don't have to do it alone. One
yeah,
of the overarching themes in the book is community. I
mm,
know it's one of the leadership lessons, but
mm-hmm,
if you read all the rest of the leadership lessons,
uh-huh,
one of the ways that this community has power is that it leans into community. It connects with other people. So even in the small action of connecting with your sons in order to get that help and your daughter seeing it, what did you do? You took yourself out of isolation.
mm,
Isolation is the tool of the enemy.
yes.
Gosh, have you seen Star Wars Episode 9? Okay, I'm into pop culture, so you didn't see this coming. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 9, at the
Uh-huh.
very end, where the resistance, it looks like they're losing. And the main character is in a Han Solo's fighter jet, and it's on his last leg, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
he sees all of the dark side coming in, and you hear this voice, and I guess it's the voice of Yoda, because Yoda has already passed on, right? And he pretty much says the tool of the enemy is to make us think we're alone. And
Mm,
he looks around, and then he starts seeing all these ragtag ships from all over the universe coming to help. And that's how they beat the dark side. I said, Lord, if that's not
amazing.
a sermon up
Right.
in
Okay.
Star Wars. Okay.
That he'll show up anywhere.
Yeah. He'll show up, but he shows up in people.
Yes.
And we have to allow that. We have
Yes.
to be open enough to say, I need help, to say, I need you to survive. By the way, the writer of that
Mm-hmm.
song is quoted
Mm-hmm.
in this book. His name is David Frazier. And he talks about how we as young people found these ways to lead, but it's because we were surrounded by people who were actually encouraging us to learn and lead. But yes,
Mm.
isolation is the tool of the enemy. And if you
Yes, it
think you
is.
can do it all alone, and you have been doing it all alone, I'm here to tell you, you could do it better with somebody else.
That's right. That's right. And we need to be open, like you were saying, open to receiving the help in whatever way it comes. Because sometimes when we're in our quiet space, we can say, Lord, I really need some help. Help, take this stress off of me, or these burdens. And someone will come and offer, but because it doesn't look like who we expect or what we expect, we decline the help and still go back and say, Lord, I really need your help. I don't know why you're not, answering me. You said you'll never give me more than I can bear. And it's like, well, I'm trying to help you, but you're so caught up in how you expect me to show up that you're declining my help in what I'm trying to give you and how I'm trying to show up for you. And so we also have to be aware of that and be open to receiving that help, receiving that guidance.
Yeah.
Like you saw it in a Star Wars movie. It's so many different ways. My youngest, one day we were in a car and he says something sometimes where I'm like, where do you come from? And he said, you know what? Sometimes I realize no matter what happens, everything always works out. And he
Mm,
says, so now whenever something bad is going on or it doesn't look right, I'm fine because I already know that it's going to work out for good. And I was
that's
like,
good.
Lord, was
But you
that
know
you?
what?
Because
His little mind, his brain has been rewired. He's
mm-hmm,
heard it, he's seen it, he's watched it,
mm-hmm,
all those different ways. And it takes that's what they say in science, especially in psychology. It takes about 9 times to see a message, to
mm,
really, digest it and even make a decision if you want to act on it. So think
mm-hmm.
about that. Once isn't enough.
Yeah,
This is again, that's that repetition that I'm talking about.
yeah.
So I have a micro practice for you and your audience to kind of break this habit of not receiving the help. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the micro practice is this: whether you need help or not,
Mm-hmm.
if in the course of your day, for 1 day or 2 days, make it a whole week, just decide to say yes, whether you need the help or not.
Mm.
Just say yes. Don't even think about it. Say yes, thank you, and
That's a
watch what
good one.
happens. Watch what happens.
That's a good one.
And then have your community report back to you with the reports of what they learned in that. It may
Yeah.
not always be the tactical help that you ask for that opens the door to something, but you may find out that
Mm-hmm.
this person had something to share that you didn't even know they had to share,
Yep.
or you developed a new friendship, or you discovered a new way to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we shut people off and we isolate ourselves, we don't
Yeah.
know what we're missing.
Mm-hmm.
So for a week, no matter if you need the help or not, if someone offers a help, just
I
say
love it.
yes.
I love
See
it.
where it takes you.
I love it. And that's such great advice, because also there are times we say no because we assume a person can't help, or they may not be as qualified or
Or
as
I'm a
strong or
bother. I'm
whatever.
being a bother.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. And so I love that, to say yes. You know what? And it's so funny because I also would love to hear the people that were surprised by your yes when you actually said it, because they're
Yes.
so used to you saying no, and
Mm-hmm.
I got it. But I appreciate that. That was definitely one of the things that, with our kids, we noticed a lot of the things that they did when they were younger, other kids their age wouldn't necessarily be doing it. And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
because they couldn't, but there was a lot of, well, they're only this, well, they're only three. So we're their own, they are still people with brains and can
Mm-hmm.
learn. They learn
Mm-hmm.
if you teach them, but we get so caught up in limiting their belief and their level of understanding because it's attached to a certain age. Like, somebody would say, we had some friends and whose kids are around our same age, and we would say, oh, they got up and threw a waffle in or fixed whatever for
Mm-hmm.
breakfast. You didn't have to get up and fix. No, I did not. They were hungry. They knew how to get to the cereal. They know how to get to milk. They know
Mm-hmm.
how to do the basics things that they need to do. And so, no, I don't have to get up. And we've shown them, when we were doing things for them, we showed them, this is how you do it. This
Mm-hmm.
is, a level of understanding. And even going back to how they can show us something. We sold, what was it? It's been about a year and a half. We sold our house. Market's been great. So we sold our house, and so we're in a rental because while it's great to sell, wasn't at that time the best to buy. And so
Mm-hmm.
anyway, sold our house, great deal on our house. And so the rental, I'm like, I really would rather have,
Mm-hmm.
certain things. And so one of the older of my two boys, actually, he's my mild mannered, calm. If he's saying something, listen, because he typically isn't going to say anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been like that, honestly, since birth. Just leave him
Mm-hmm.
alone. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave him alone. And so he said, he comes to me later after we decided on the house, and he said, you didn't look too happy earlier. And I was like, I don't. And I was like, oh, no, there's certain things I just, didn't like. And he was like, it's just temporary. It's
Mm.
only temporary. And even though that was something so simple, it was something I needed to hear. But also, I felt it in more than just that one incident.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it made me think about how I approach situations, period, just in life, because we go through, sometimes we make, permanent decisions about
Mm-hmm.
temporary actions, but it just reminded me of the things that God takes us through, and that it's just temporary.
Yeah. Well, and that's reframing. Again, that's reframing. It's looking at a situation and looking for an opportunity. And
Hmm.
if you can say that it's temporary, there's another way out.
Yes.
That's hope. Have you heard of hope theory?
Please
It's in
tell us.
positive psychology, and Martin Seligman is the father of positive psychology, and he came up with this. A lot of people, especially during these dark times, will say, don't get my hopes up, right? But
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, you want to get your hopes up, because hope actually has three components. It's agency thinking, which says, I can do this.
Mm.
I know because of things that have happened before that I can do this. And then it's
Mm.
also pathways thinking, which allows you to look at all the opportunities and say, where's the way out? So you start to strategize, right? And when you say that, it's only temporary, it proves that you've had this conversation with yourself that, gee, it's just a matter of time. You've gone through all of those situations in your brain and figured out that there is a way. And then there's goals thinking. And this is the most important part. Hope without a plan is just a wish. And so goals thinking is all a part of hope theory, which means that you have enough hope to allow you to anticipate and look ahead and set a goal. And you can't set a goal without mapping a plan. So hope is not hoping without a plan. Hope is only a wish without a plan.
That last part, I have heard that before, and it's true. It is, because if you're talking about all of these things, you have those people talk about all these things they want to do, and it's like, okay, so what have you done towards X? Well, so nothing. It's my husband and I and another couple, we would go on these annual trips each year, and one trip we were having a conversation just about some things that we wanted to do and accomplish moving forward. But what they didn't realize at the time, I wrote down what everybody said, or I've had it in my phone, what everybody said. And so the next year on our trip, it was, hey, remember when you said this? How close are you to that? And at first it was like, oh, what is it expecting you to ask about that? And so no one was really where they wanted to be. But then when they realized that, oh, wait a minute, you're going to keep us accountable to this, they started setting goals and making plans and making phone calls to do those things that they put on that list. And it's great to have, like you said, in that community. That goes back to that community, because when you feel like you're there by yourself, sometimes we need that accountability to move forward in that thing that we need to do, or just that support to say, I see you, I got you. You know what? I'm here if you need my help, any of those things. And so I love that you said that, because that is a reminder. We always talk about a lot of things we want to do. Okay, so are you moving towards that? Are you taking steps? Have you had a phone call, looked up even Chat GPT, something to kind of make this thing work? And so I love that you make that reference, because we also say, oh, I want to do all these things, but I don't have time. It's because you haven't made it.
Right.
So this has been an enlightening, educational, inspirational, all the things. And I know that you said so many things and so many gems were dropped that would resonate with those that are listening. So please, we'll make sure, of course, that your contact information is included if for any who want to connect with you. But call and response, please tell us where we can find it, how we can get it, all the things.
You can get it wherever you buy your books. I suggest that you go support a small Black business if you can.
Yes.
If not, the folks at Barnes and Nobles have been so nice to me. In fact, my kickoff for my book tour is tonight in Cedar Hill and outside of Dallas, Texas. If you're in the area, I'd love to see you. Other than that, go to elmichellesmith.com/call and response to learn everything you need to know about this book. And it's already getting a great response. And I'm just so thankful to people like you that have opened up their platforms for me to share.
Thank you. And I'm not surprised, just from what we were, able to talk about today. And it wasn't like we were going page by page. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for your yes. And it's never goodbye, but until next time.
Of course. Always reach out. I'm here. If you want to chat some more, let's do it.
Yes. Thank you.
All righty, lady. Take care.
Hey, friend. If this episode stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Make sure you subscribe to She Leads Boldly so you never miss an episode. And let's stay connected. Join our growing community of faith-driven powerhouse women, where you'll find real talk, encouragement, and tools to fuel your journey. Oh, and I've created something special just for the bold, faith-driven women like you. An ebook, When You Know His Name. Discover identity, intimacy, and the power of prayer through the names of God. This ebook is designed to equip and encourage you to lead with clarity, courage, and conviction in every space God assigns you to. Available now on Amazon. And if you're ready for deeper clarity, I would love to personally walk with you. I offer a one-on-one session called Your Path to Purpose and Power, and it's to help you break through the overwhelm and realign with what God is actually calling you to in this season. Whether it's burnout, boundaries, or fresh vision, you don't have to figure it out alone. All links are in the show notes. Oh, and one last thing. I would love to hear from you. What questions are you carrying this season? What topics would serve your walk, your work, your womanhood right now? Send me a message or an email because this podcast is for you, and I want every episode to speak directly to where you are. Remember, you don't have to choose between your faith, your family, and the calling on your life. God's grace makes room for it all. So until next time, stay anchored in purpose, covered in grace, and always ready to rise. Talk soon, friend.